I'm Rafał Bartoszewski. I've lived in a city for all my life, but I always knew that the best and the most important things are outside. That's why I want to take you. Closer to the nature.
Winter. Peace and quiet are rarely disturbed by the wind, and even less often by an animal. You can hear snow and ice under the feet. In winter, the number of animals encountered in the forest is much smaller than in the summer. It's obvious. Some species are unable to tolerate low temperatures and they end their lives with the first frosts. Many species of birds fly south to the wintering grounds. There are also animals that spend the winter with us, but we still can't see them because they have fallen into winter sleep. However, it doesn't mean the same thing for all of the species. Some species fall into lethargy, during which life processes slow down a little, while others fall into hibernation, during which the animal's life functions are slowed down very much. Interrupting hibernation can be really dangerous for animals because waking up and then falling asleep again is a high energy expenditure, and some individuals may not be able to do it. It looks different in the case of lethargy, from which animals wake up from time to time. Badgers, for example, fall asleep this way. I know this badger's burrow, so I'll put a photo trap here. I will leave it for a week, and after that I will come back and check if something has been recorded. I came back a little earlier after 5 days, because I have to leave in a couple of days. Also the temperature is dropping a little bit, so I'm worried about the equipment. Let's see, do we have anything on the recordings right now? I wanted to say that the batteries died, but no, they did not. So we will be able to look at the recordings immediately after I take off the photo trap. It's cold. It's probably around minus 13 degrees right now. Minus 11, 13, something like that. Okay, let's check it out. What should I press? Okay, we didn't record any badger. This is the only footage. So either they haven't come out in the last 5 days, or they've chosen a different way out of the burrow, because there are about 4 or 5 more here. I'll see if there are any fresh tracks nearby. Well, I'm going to go home. I'll set the photo trap another day, either in the same place or on a different tree. Maybe then I will record badgers. No badgers tracks. I was thinking about badgers all the time, but the raccoon dog was recorded. Honestly, it was a surprise. I didn't expect a raccoon dog, but it's an interesting observation, because these animals, like badgers, fall into lethargy. They are an exception among canines. In addition, like badgers, they can wake up from this lethargy on warmer days to, for example, go somewhere and eat something. Moreover, it turned out that raccoon dogs have the best chance of surviving winter when they stay in badgers' burrows. Some of the animals can still be seen during the winter. If the ground is covered with snow, they can sometimes be traced due to the footprints that they leave on it. Each species has its own strategies to survive the winter months. It's cold and there are roe deer behind me. These animals perfectly show perhaps the most obvious strategy for dealing with moisture and frost. It is a change of fur from summer to winter. Winter fur consists of 2 layers. The outer layer consists of stiff, longer hair, while the inner is densely arranged with delicate hair, which create a warm layer that protects against cold. Winter fur also has a different color than the summer fur, which is most often associated with the fact that it helps to absorb the energy of sunlight. It is also a better camouflage. However, I hope to find a much smaller animal with a survival strategy that is much more unique. I'm going to a specific place, but I don't know if I can find there the animal I'm looking for. It is not easy to find a small animal in the field, and the one I am looking for now is about the size of a mouse. I'm going to a place where I have watched them once, but I don't know if I can still find them there, because they don't have a particular place where they stay. I just have to go and look around patiently. Listen. Maybe suddenly I will see a shrew. Shrews' metabolism is so fast that they have to eat almost constantly. If they take a break for a few hours, they will starve to death. In winter, however, it is more difficult to find food. To survive this difficult period, shrews shrink. The mass of their internal organs is reduced, and in winter they have up to 20–30% smaller brains. Their skeleton also shrinks. Shrews have a smaller skull in winter, and even their spine is shortened. How does it happen? Part of the bone tissue is absorbed and it grows back in spring. Shrews can therefore consume slightly less food because their body requires less energy. Unfortunately, I probably won't find them this time. It's a pity, but it was quite easy to predict. It's a real difficult task. The shrinking skeleton is an interesting idea, but such ways of fighting with the cold would not work in the invertebrate world. They had to develop their own methods. It's winter. The day is short and this day is coming to an end. And for this video, let's end this winter too. Come on then. In the hemolength of insects active in the winter, we can find, for example, sugar trehalose, which causes that the invertebrate body fluids freeze only at temperatures well below 0 degrees Celsius. There is a morning clock in front of me, a butterfly who survived the winter. Invertebrates can overwinter at different stages of development depending on the species. They can be eggs, pupae, caterpillars, or imago, which means adults. This butterfly has overwintered as an adult. How did he do it? Well, he has hidden somewhere in the gap, for example in the bark or pile of branches, and begun winter sleep. During this time in his blood, hemolength, the concentration of glycerol increased, which prevents the formation of ice crystals and freezing the insect. A similar solution can be used, for example, by edible snails. The concentration of glycerol and glycogen increases in their hemolength. The former protects them against freezing, and the latter is a valuable source of energy that allows them to survive the period when snails cannot feed and is necessary when they are waking up from hibernation. Now, when the spring has come, you can see the movement everywhere and you can hear that the animals are very active. Winter, however, despite the apparent peace and quiet, also teems with life. Some species are able to survive this time of year actively, while others wait for the spring. They all have their own amazing ways to do this.